It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. It's a busy racing day today. Many tracks are in action. All Stars are at Port Royal tonight, so let's get you ready for all of it. First up tonight is the Keith Kauffman Classic at Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania for the All-Star Circuit of Champions. The race is $6,000 to win and is the first of 3 All-Star events this week. After tonight, the series travels to Tennessee for 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday at Volunteer Speedway. Both of those shows are $5,000 to win. Dominic Scelzi is the most recent winner, with the All-Stars having won back on June 14th at Chatham Speedway in Louisiana. Aaron Reitzel is the current series points leader, having 3 wins so far in points-paying races in 2020. Corey Eliason is 40 points behind Reitzel and is without a win this season. He does have 7 top 5 finishes in 10 features, including 3 second-place finishes. Danny Dietrich, Brock Zierfoss, and Zeb Wise round out the top 5. Tonight at Port Royal, besides the series regulars, a strong field of contenders is expected, including many of Pennsylvania's best, plus guys like Rico Abreu. There were 3 All-Star races at Port Royal in 2019, with Lance DeWeese, Trey Starks, and Aaron Reitzel taking those 3 wins. Somebody else I think to keep an eye on is Anthony Macri. He's won the previous 2 weekly shows at Port Royal. I would also be interested to see what Corey Eliason's able to do, not only tonight but over the weekend. He's like I said, 3 second-place finishes, has been right up in there a lot. Won't be surprised to see if he maybe gets one of these wins this week as well. If you cannot be at Port Royal, Flow Racing has all of the live action starting tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern as part of your Flow Racing subscription. Fairbury Speedway is in action tonight also for a $5,000 to win late model feature plus modifieds and sportsmen. Fairbury attempted to start their season over the weekend on Saturday, but the night was dashed due to weather. Fans are allowed in tonight to the track, but if you cannot be there, both Dirt on Dirt and Flow Racing will have live streaming coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Again, you do have to have a subscription to one of those sites to be able to watch. Fairbury, one of those, just fantastic racetracks. It's every year, the opportunity to get to race there is always something that the drivers love, and the fans just pack that place out. So if you get a chance tonight, would definitely recommend tuning into Fairbury. It's definitely one of those probably bucket list racetracks, I think, for a lot of people, just with the atmosphere there and how great the racing usually is. Shane Stewart continues to piece together his 2020 sprint car schedule. He ran Volusia back in February with Jason Sides, and then lately has been in the Indy Race Part 71 with Bernie Stubjen. He announced via his Twitter account yesterday that he'll be in the Guy Forbrook number 5 this weekend at Jackson Motorplex for the Jackson Nationals, and then again next weekend with the World of Outlaws at Cedar Lake. With a business still to run, not surprising that Bernie and Shane are going to take a little bit of a break here from racing. I'm sure we'll see them back together in the coming weeks. Gio Scelzi is running with Forbrook this year for a fairly sizable sprint car schedule, but he's got pavement races scheduled the next 2 weeks, which opened up the seat for Shane Stewart. Shane is currently 7th in the World of Outlaws point standings and has been at every World of Outlaws show so far this season. He has 9 top 10 finishes in 14 starts, and his best finish this season is 4th, which he's done 3 times. Shane's best result at Jackson the last 2 seasons was a 7th on Friday night of the Jackson Nationals back last year in 2019. As I was kind of looking through Shane's numbers, getting my show notes today, I realized that this year's World of Outlaws top 10 streak is actually busted back at Knoxville. Both Brad Sweet and Donnie Schatz had finished in the top 10 in every race so far in 2020, but Schatz finished 11th on Saturday at Knoxville, and then he didn't finish in the top 10 either night at Hobstadt this last weekend. At no other point going back through the 2018 season has Donnie Schatz finished outside the top 10 in 3 straight races. Definitely very off-brand couple of weeks here for Donnie Schatz. Pretty surprising to see him finish where he's finished lately and not really be a factor. Even getting was under fire for getting lapped at one point at Hobstadt this weekend. So would like to see Schatz kind of get back going again and get rolling and challenging guys like Sweet and some of these guys that have been up front in some of these races. I know Schatz is still 2nd in the points, but you don't expect to see him back there and not being a factor for a lot of these wins. So Brad Sweet's streak was also busted on Saturday at Knoxville with a 12th place run. Since then, though, he's finished 2nd twice and 5th. So Brad recovering from that little bit of a blip on the schedule back at Knoxville to still continue with strong runs, and would imagine he'll be strong again this weekend. He did win at Jackson Motorplex back a few months ago when things kind of started to ramp back up after we were all shut down for the pandemic. So be a good one this weekend. We'll do more previewing tomorrow on the show before World of Outlaws action gets underway at Jackson Motorplex for night 1 for tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that a lot more and do our weekend predictions like we normally would do. The iRacing World Championship is back rolling again, this time for the World of Outlaws Late Model Series. The series held their first race on Monday night at Volusia Speedway Park, with 9 more races on the schedule every Monday night through August 24th. Besides Volusia, the other tracks on the schedule are Lernerville twice, Limaland, Eldora, Kokomo, Fairbury, Knoxville, Williams Grove, and the dirt track at Charlotte. $25,000 is on the line all season long, with the champion getting $10,000, just like the Sprint Car Series. Last year's series champion was Blake Majulis. If you kept up with the Sprint Car Series this year, you'll notice a lot of the same names running with the late models as well. Guys like James Edens, Kendall Tucker, Alex Bergeron, a lot of those names are the same between the series. Back over to Monday, it was James Edens who started from the pole driving for Swindell Speed Lab. He also went quick time and won his heat race, which put him on the pole. Edens led the first 12 laps, but after a restart, Hayden Cardwell rolled the top and drove by Edens to lead lap 13. For most of the first half of the race, you could throw a blanket over the top 3 or 4 drivers, and that continued into the closing laps. With most drivers running the middle to the top, Drew Hopkins had the bottom working, and he moved into second as the race got inside 20 to go. Cardwell's car seemed to go away late, and Hopkins rolled at bottom to take the lead with 7 laps remaining. Nobody could mount a charge over the remaining laps, and Drew Hopkins drove away to win in his first ever series start. Pretty incredible stuff there. With as experienced as these fields are and with as tight as these fields are, for a guy to be able to come in, never having run with the series before and win right away. Cardwell was second, Edens third, Dylan Wilson fourth, and Blake Cannon was fifth. The series is back again next Monday night. You can watch all the racing live and for free at iRacing.com/live or Twitch.com/iRacing. Last year's series champion Blake Majulis not in the field, so we will have a new champion this year. I would imagine a lot of those names, Bergeron, James Eden, some of those guys are going to be favorites for the championship. But if Drew Hopkins can continue racing like this, easy for me to say, there's no reason to think he couldn't be a challenger for this championship as well, even with it being his rookie season. So we'll keep you updated on that as the season progresses here over the coming 9 weeks. And if you haven't got a chance, I would certainly recommend checking out those races. They are super fun to watch. The racing is super tight. So check those out if you get a chance. I want to take a quick look at tonight's pay-per-view schedule. A lot of stuff on the docket for even it being a Wednesday night. Quite a few races on the schedule. Like I mentioned before, Fairbury live on Dirt and Flow Racing. You can check that out tonight. Fast 4 Media has junior sprints restricted A-Class non-wing and Super 600s from Dixon Speedway. Again, USAC 24/7 live on Flow Racing. Also, like I talked about earlier, All-Stars at Port Royal, that's live on Flow Racing. Speed Shift has a number of shows. They have 360s Hobby Stocks Unlimited late models from Marysville, $1,000 to win Open Class from Thunder Hill Speedway, and then 600 sprints USAC Speedsters and Slingshots from the Action Track USA. And then Speed Sport has a pair of shows. Buena Vista Raceway has IMCA classes, Sport Compact, Hobby Stock, Sport Mod, Stock Car, and Modifieds. And Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa has non-wing sprints, Sport Mod, Stock Cars, Hobby Stocks, and Sport Compacts, both of those shows on Speed Sport. If you want to see the full schedule, you can find that at DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. There's also links to all of those different services with those shows, so you can jump over there, see the schedule, and then click right through to be able to buy a show tonight. We'll also want to look at podcast episodes this week if you are looking for something to listen to while you're maybe at work or driving around. Wing Nation, a couple of shows. They had Brian Carter and then Carson Macedo and Jamie Ball this week. Rip the Fence, I don't know if I mentioned this one before. They have Steven Schnapp as their latest episode. Top Shelf has Matt Jewell and Johnny Gibson. Dirt Nerds are talking everything Indiana Midget Week, including Kyle Larson winning. Late Model Live is back this week with Zach Mitchell. There's also a new video cast. Plus that Bobby Pierce Rigsby report is available as well, with which I mentioned, I believe, last week. And then the Dirt from Knoxville has a new show as of June 17th, Brad Sweet, and then they also break down some World of Outlaws action as well. So if you want to check out some podcast episodes, you can find those at DIRTRACKR.com/podcasts. Good place to keep up with everything going on there, and then you can click right through to listen to all of the new episodes. That's the show for today. Hope everybody has a good Wednesday. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a review. You can also watch the show every day on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and you can sign up for the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter live on the site. Also, I've mentioned this before, if you're on TikTok, check us out at Dirt Tracker on TikTok. I've been doing some fun shorter videos over there with some different stats and calling out some different things. So if you're a TikTok user, check me out over there as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.